Hello, this is a demonstration about the new plane we have planned to do. Um, First, we have this screen that's intended to have the main overview of the system. That should be show you all layout with the different areas, with the different squares, show the status for each area. Uh, this is not the most important screen, but we have to be finish all the parts of the program be ready before you have this screen ready. But the most important part is this one, sensor screen. This screen is going to be similar to the old template, but here we have and the sensor for each sensor could be either digital or analog input, or could be both. When you have a digital input, we are using, or maybe not, the warning, danger, or malfunction input. Every sensor could be all the signals like this one, or could be using just one. It's a free option with input you want to use. So when hit here, this is going to be the sensor configuration. Every sensor should have always an ID number that we can use the same uh, sensor name on the drawing. So it's going to be easier to recognize which sensor we're talking about. Instead of have sensor 1 or 3 and so on, it's going to be easy. The sensor 1300, you can go to and see the drawings and going to find that sensor here. So every sensor you can choose which zone you had to control down. Could be for the AS panel, could be zone 1, 2, 3. We have in the program what is the limit of how many zones we're going to be in the system. But when you already set how much sensor, which zones going to be a set at the zone, you have to choose which sensor that's working with. And you can choose which kind of sensor, and we have even a default table for the sensor we're working with, and we have more information. We don't have to type every time down for a new sensor, just you have to select what kind of sensor we have here and then close. We can change the one, and it is disable sensor or enable. You can type here more information like someone north north and then we can choose is it flammable or toxic. We can take all the information when you choose the sensor, or can we override the values if you want it. If you select yes, it's going to override all this information. If you say no, you can customize all this information, so you don't have to write down every time. So if you can choose the side, if it's working the sensor with analog or digital input, whatever you want. But here you can choose like this one, the sensor, you can choose which chassis is that connection, which slot we're working with, and the input. This one, like an input one, we're using this one before, but you can choose. If you know any destination here, it means it's just free input, so you can choose this one and then close. We can take a look in. It's going to be the same for the digital input. So we can choose which input is slot 0, input 1, slot 1.1. Close. So when you have all the chain ready, you can save the value, or you can cancel. So you hit the button cancel. No change is going to be happen in the sensor, but you choose save, all the change going to be in the sensor, and then you can return. We have here that, like I used it before, this is the warning, set point, danger, the timer. The timer is shared with the danger warning. This reason is just one. Malfunction is just one timer. It was 0 bound, it was span. We have the range. We have also a simpler value, so you can hit the start simulation that you want to simulate that value. You can write any value here, so you can change this value for the output. Let's see. This is a new value for the simulation. Can stop. You can do this for any sensor you wanted, so you can test the all the logic in the program. So it's going to be easy. Instead of simulate the input for the sensor, you can check all the logic in the program, just simulate the input. So these sensors are enabled, but you want to enable this one, just change to disable enable, and that's it, and save it. You can return. So now this is enabled. We have here a malfunction, so we have to check the input what is malfunction, but we can disable again. Disable, save, return. Let me check this one. Let me enable. We have 0 here, and we don't have any designation for the sensor, so let me send in slot 0, chassis 0, slot 7. So we are using this sensor, this input here. Let me choose the second one. Close, save. We can see that the name is PB, but that's wrong. So we can change the name for 1234 sensors. Save. This is the name of the new sensor. So it's going to update when you change the name. So that's a basic idea for the sensor. So this sensor can tie up to could be the mains system, or could be tied to the sensor. So we can be one sensor, could be 20 sensors, not so matter how many sensors you wanted, could be all tied together for the a specific zone. And then we have uh, let me start again the simulation. For the outputs, it's not going to be a bit different. So now you have just one output. Like this one, this is the output is going to be tied to a specific chassis 0, slot 3.0. So the sensor could be disabled or can enable for take the information for any of this one. All the zone who has a previous designer, we had three zone and the ES system, so we had to tie up this specific sensor like a zone 1. We can choose what is going to turn on that output, like a fire, and maybe stop and danger. We can. It's going to be all conditions. Any of these ones gets on, so it's going to turn on the specific output. Also, we can choose one of them to a specific damper, so we can choose that for a specific damper, like this is open, or maybe we can choose for the fan is maybe running. This is running the output. We can trigger an output, or like a damper. We can send the open to the fan, or maybe you can use stop. Stop, if we have active, we have a stop, so we can send the signal to especially maybe a solenoid or maybe a light. Even we can choose like a need reset, so if no normal or you have foul, we can have the output off.